So you've got a lot going on right now. You just put out a new single. You've got a reality show coming out. Like honestly, like how are you doing? How are you feeling right now?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm just excited for everything. Everything's going super fast, but fun. It's all fun stuff.
I mean, so you've shot to fame so quickly. How did you get into TikTok? When did you get into TikTok? Like how did it all start for you?
So I've had TikTok since it was Musically. I had it on my phone since 2015, but always a viewer. I started posting winter of 2019, and that's kind of when everything happened. My sister started first, and I was like, what is this? This is so embarrassing. Like, please stop posting. I'm a senior in high school. Like, this is really embarrassing. And we just kind of both started coming out to LA. I met a bunch of people. I still wasn't making a lot of content. And then I was like, you know what? This is fun, whatever. Everyone is just having fun. Like, who cares? Who cares about being embarrassed? And that's just kind of how everything happened. And now we're here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like everybody downloaded TikTok as a joke and we're like, wait, this is actually an incredible app. It's so fun.
Oh, 100%.
So at what point, I mean, you've got millions of followers. At what point do you and your family sit down and go, this could be so much more than just like a fun little hobby?
I think when we were having to come to LA a lot and just realized we're spending so much money on flights and blah, 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 and we don't know what we're doing. So we need to sit down and figure, what is the plan here? What are we going to do? How are we going to take this to the next step? Do we want to take this to the next step? And we both kind of all decided, yeah, let's try it. You know what? It's a once in a lifetime thing. Let's just keep going, keep doing what we're doing. And that's just kind of how everything happened. We all came together as a family though, and everyone like made the decision together.
Did you have plans before this all took off? Like, were you going to go to college? Like, what did your life look like?
My plan was to go to University of Alabama up until probably the end of last summer. I was still planning on going with everything, but due to COVID, I didn't want to be going back and forth a lot because I knew I would still have to work, but I really wanted to go and I was excited, but I didn't get the opportunity yet. I still would love to go to college at some point.
Yeah, roll tide. I mean, did you see Bama Rush? Were you like so happy you weren't having to deal with any of that? Like dodged a bullet?
I was so excited to rush, but looking at all those videos, I don't know if I would have made it through because that looked very intense, but it looks like a lot of fun and I still have a lot of friends going there, so I hope they're all having fun.
So when you go out to LA, like, is that when you first joined the Hype House? How did y'all get together?
That was just the first people we met when we came out to LA. Everyone was so sweet and just helpful, and they've all kind of been doing this a little longer than we have, but we all really started blowing up at the same time. So we were all doing it together and everyone was just always there for you, and it was such a good experience, and I'm so lucky I got to meet all of them.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun, but you and your sister eventually left the Hype House. How did y'all decide to do that? Were you just like, it's not for us anymore? What was going on?
Well, it was just they were moving on and doing their own business things together, and so were we, and we were just wanted to not interrupt the deals they were trying to do because then our names would be involved, and it just got a big mess, and we didn't want to be on the business side, but we wanted to be friends with them and still hang out with them, so we were still with them every day, just not a part of the business side that they were doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it seems really overwhelming to like uproot your life and move to LA. I mean, if you could go back and tell you like the first couple weeks that you had moved there, like what's one piece of advice that you would give yourself?
Everything kind of just worked out how it worked out. I'm kind of happy with how everything went and is going, and I don't think I would have to tell myself anything.
So I love that you've kind of dipped your toe into everything you've done. A little bit of acting, now you've got a fashion brand, and now you've dove into the music industry. Did you grow up singing? Like, what's your background with music?
I started singing when I was probably 3 years old. I did theater and I was part of a vocal group in my hometown, and I just did a bunch of things that around singing. It was always a part of my life, but I never thought I would ever be doing anything like this.
Do you have any artists that you really admire, like somebody's career that you think like, oh, if I could have that, like I would want that 10 out of 10?
I think any of the people I grew up watching, like Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, that whole group It's just the people I grew up watching. So now seeing how many things they've done with their success is so amazing and definitely a goal.
So you put out your first single last year, and it was called Be Happy. How and why did you decide to choose that song with that message?
That was one of the first songs I heard. They played it for me and I just really loved it because I felt like I could relate to it and the whole world could kind of relate to it at the time. So I'm happy that was my first song and I just loved everything about it. And
yeah, I don't think anybody wanted to be happy back in 2020. It was a lot. You know, you've opened up your world on TikTok and you've got this reality show coming out. Were you kind of used to hearing people's opinions and like criticisms by the time your first single came out, or was it still kind of like jarring once people started like having reactions to this new direction you took your career in?
I mean, I knew that was gonna happen and I feel like it affected me obviously, but at the same time I didn't want to stop because it's my first time. It was my first single and I was like, okay, well, how can I make this better? How can I keep going? What can I improve on? And I'm never going to be mad at criticism. I can't be. It's just something that I can use to help me move on and get better.
Yeah, I mean, you can really hear how much you've grown as an artist. I mean, the most recent songs you put out have been so good and they're almost like a little edgier. Do you find that the songs that are like F-Boy that are a little bit more edgy, does that come more natural to you than maybe some of your more vulnerable songs that you first put out, like Be Happy and Roommates?
They're different. I don't think one is easier than the other. I just feel like they're so different that I enjoy them all for different reasons.
You've gotten to work with some really cool people. I mean, as a One Direction fan, the fact that you got to do a song with Liam Payne and Wiz Khalifa and now Ruby Rose. What are some of the things that you've learned from working with other artists? Like, have they given you any advice or have you just picked up on things along the way?
I think just watching other artists and being in the studio with artists has taught me so much of just little things of how they say things when they're recording or anything. I take everything and I just look at everything people do and watch and learn and think, I want to do that or don't want to do that. So every single person I've worked with has taught me something.
Okay, so your newest song, Psycho, very edgy. What does it mean for you to go psycho, to turn into a psycho? What does that mean to you?
I think when you're in a relationship and you're not getting the love back or they're not proving that they love you, you might go a little psycho and, oh, this is why you're doing this or why is this? And you're just trying to put together a puzzle, but you don't know what the answer is. So that's what I kind of think psycho is.
Have you had a moment the past 2 years have probably been absolutely insane. Have you had a moment where you've gone psycho, so to speak?
I've had a couple psycho moments, but I think I try my best to be as calm as possible and be trusting as much as I can.
We try. So it seems kind of like you and your sister's career is very much a family affair. How much are like your parents and your sister involved in your career?
They're involved. I always send them my songs and, do you guys like this? How do you like this? They're at the music videos and all of that, but they definitely do give me my space to figure out things on my own, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. Is it hard to like have them so involved in everything, or is it nice almost to have them around?
I don't know what I would do without them. My family is so helpful and just supportive, and I can't imagine doing all of this without them.
Yeah. And you've got this really cool reality show coming out on Hulu. Mm-hmm. What's it like to now put your life and like your family dynamic out there, like on camera for the rest of the world?
I think it's going to be great. I feel like it might be a little scary because we do talk a lot about mental health in the show. So having people make comments about that might be difficult, but I'm just excited for people to see it. And I really think that they'll enjoy it.
So what kind of things are we going to get to see on the D'Amelio show? You talked a little bit about mental health. What kind of storylines can we expect to see?
You can follow my music career and talks about what songs we're doing next and things like that, and a bunch of different things. It's just kind of our lives, and there's not really the story that we're telling is our lives, and there's things here and there, but it's kind of just every day what we're doing and how we get through emotions and things like that.
Is there anything that like you've seen get put in the show that you're like a little bit nervous about putting out there that you kind of wish like didn't make the cut? Is there anything like you're nervous about people's reactions for?
I'm pretty much happy with everything. I just want people to remember that this was filmed months ago, so if we're bringing up old things that like I'm not still talking about it. It was just a very long time ago when it was still relevant. Yeah, that's just what I want people to remember.
I'm sure a lot, like, to your fans, your life probably looks like so golden right now and so many great things are happening for you. You've achieved so much success. Is there anything in the past, like, year and a half, 2 years that's been, like, disappointing or really hard to deal with?
Figuring out who I want to be and what I want to do has probably been the hardest, and making sure I don't lose my love for what I'm doing, because even though it is a job, it's still something that I love and I don't want to lose that.
So how do you think you've changed since your following has taken off? I mean, you've got 55 million people looking at you every single day on your TikTok. Like, how does that change a person?
I really don't think it did at all. I think I'm still myself. I still am friends with all my friends. They still treat me the same. I feel like the only thing that's changed is sometimes the way people treat me. But if you treat me like a normal person, I'm pretty chill. I don't really, like, I'd rather someone come up and have a conversation with me than sometimes throw a camera in my face. I just would much rather meet people and just have a normal conversation. I feel like it's just so much easier.
Yeah, what's been the weirdest fan reaction in person? Like, has someone come up and like asked you a weird question, or like, is it just the camera situation?
I've had some weird questions. I've had some people say mean things sometimes. And I'm like, what are you doing? We're all in the same place. Like, let's just chill and have fun. I've met so many people out or when I'm on vacation. If I meet a cool group of people, I'll hang with them. I've gone to like out with kids and just hung out and all night, and we'd hang out the next day, go to the beach, go like literally in the ocean in the middle of the night. Like, I've had great times with people I've met, and it first started off as like asking for a picture. And I was like, no, let's just chill and have fun. And then we have a whole experience together, and it's just, I'm still a kid. I still want to have fun. So I feel like when people treat me like their age, I'm going to act their age and we'll all have fun together.
Well, even though you're a kid, you know, just like anybody else around 20 years old, you've got this incredible career that you're working towards. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I get this question sometimes and I really have no idea what to say, because I just want to have fun. I want to keep doing what I'm doing and just making the most out of this opportunity I have. I don't really have one specific thing where I want to be here, I want to do this. I just want to keep working hard and see how much I can get out of this opportunity I have.
What's next for you? Do you have an album coming out? Do you want to like go on tour? Do you want to like open up for somebody? What do you think is next?
I hope to be performing very soon. And I think next is just finding out what's next. It's kind of what I'm doing right now, what song I want to release, how I want to tell a story throughout an album, and that's kind of what I'm working on right now. So I don't have any dates or time placements, but I think very soon I'll figure that all out.
Well, awesome. Well, best of luck to you. Those are all my questions. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for chatting with me.
Thank you so much. You too.
Yeah,
it was so nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.